Obviously, this conference was mostly about the Wii U. I mean, I could say definitely one of my biggest disappointments from Nintendo is that they really haven't been showing much to put aside any critics of the 3DS or its launch, because they had a grand total of 4 games advertised for it, and 2 of them are technically DS games.
Nintendo, that's just bad.
The games advertised for the 3DS were Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon, which is the sequel to Luigi's Mansion, and I don't have much to say about either of those, honestly, and Paper Mario Sticker Star, which looks kind of interesting. I mean, I'll be honest, I wasn't that keen on Super Paper Mario, but I'll be interested to see where they take this. It looks like they've got the turn-based battle system back, but the main way you interact with the world and fight is, well, there are 2 ways you interact. First is using stickers. Like, each sticker is like a different attack. Like, you can get a jump sticker or a hammer sticker, and that's the way you attack enemies and so forth.
Okay, I need to interrupt because that just reminds me of one of those moments from Proton John's Super Smash Bros. Brawl playthrough with guest LPers, wherein in the very first match, his opponent throws a sticker at him.
It's kind of like that, where you're using stickers to attack people, but...
Yeah, it won't end up like poor Azure Blade 49 going, "Did I just throw a sticker at you?"
Oh dear. But there is also a second attack, which is actually quite possibly the most devastating thing you can imagine in the Paper Mario universe, is that they get physical objects in order to attack the enemies as well. And by physical objects, the 2 they demonstrate off are scissors and a fan.
Oh my god! So basically they've taken the Paper Mario universe, adjusted for the setting, and given the characters in it the access to the chainsaw from Gears of War.
Pretty much, yeah.
They've given them access to the chainsaw and, let's see, fan? I can't really think of any equivalent of that, so I'm just gonna say, just a fan? That's like the BFG 9000.
Yeah, pretty much. It's kind of used to completely and utterly destroy the opponents. And there's like one scene where Mario picks up the fan, and I'm not quite sure what he's doing to the overworld, but what happens is you get the image of you have like the horizon with the hills and the sun, and then this giant fan comes from behind the hills, dwarfing everything, and then suddenly turns on and starts blowing away almost everything in the landscape.
Oh my god! Good god, imagine if you planted it the other way around. That would be ludicrous Jib's paper form.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it'll be good or bad, but I'm thinking about buying it just for the insanity factor. So
I'm thinking of buying it just for the idea of using scissors as a machete.
The other 2 DS games were Pokemon Black and White 2 and a new trailer for Pokemon Conquest, so more confirmation that those are coming over, which is nice.
To say the least.
Mm-hmm.
And I forget, are the 3DS titles again, or are they just DS?
They're DS.
Thank God. I have nothing really against the 3DS, although they're doing nothing to alleviate what I do have against it, but I don't want to have to buy it for single games.
That's fair enough.
I mean, I already have to buy it for Fire Emblem 13.
Speaking of which, officially confirmed to be heading to the West.
Yeah, I got the news yesterday. Needless to say, I could rest easy and stop clenching my seat after the fiasco that was Fire Emblem 12.
Ugh, sigh.
Just because Shadow Dragon sucked did not mean you had a right to not send a game over. Anyway.
Yeah. Oh well. It's disappointing, and again, it's really not doing me any favors in thinking that the 3DS was a worthwhile purchase. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm happy to play Street Fighter 4 and Tales of the Abyss, and doing its Rolling Western was kind of fun, but a console for free games? Yeah,
Yeah, that's my thing. If you're going to release a console, release games for it eventually. That was my biggest complaint with the PS3. It didn't have a library till about 2008.
Yeah, I think the main reason the 3DS got pretty much put to the side was because Nintendo wanted to focus more on the Wii U, which is kind of understandable since they were basically forced to reveal it at the last E3, and it's very clear they didn't want to do it since there was barely any news about it.
And overall, I doubt it would have ever been a decision Nintendo would have made on their own, because announcing your new actual platform console in the same year you released another console is a terrible idea.
Yeah, and it also doesn't help that one of the biggest complaints amongst Nintendo fans is that, oh, we wanted to hear more about the new Super Smash Bros. Game. They were desperate. They clearly said in the announcement the games hadn't even been made yet. It was an announcement that they were going to do it after Kid Icarus Uprising, and that game was released like a few months ago.
Oh yeah, there's a fan base you'll never please no matter what you do. I doubt I'm even ever going to buy that new Super Smash Bros. Game because tier lists.
Yeah, that's the other
noise. The stop having fun guys actually caused me to stop having fun.
Yeah, same here. But anyway, that's a rant that could go on forever. First of all, let's talk about the technology sides of the Wii U. One of the biggest concerns was that you could only use one of the new Wii U controllers, the ones with the second screen inside, on one system at a time. Nintendo revealed that it's now been configured so that you can use two controllers on the same system. Unfortunately, they also said that by doing this, you cut the frame rate down to 30 per second.
Really, Nintendo? We're
in
2012. You couldn't have made things faster?
Yeah, although to be fair, the entire system is basically based around the one guy having the controller, so I can kind of understand that.
I can't because it's 2012. Our technology is better than that.
Yeah, I think it's mostly because of the whole live streaming thing, and the fact that the Wii U tablet, it basically... I think it's because it's constantly transmitting back from the controller to the console. Also, it's mainly used that there's this one controller and everyone else is supposed to use Wiimotes as well. So it's not like it completely destroys any attempts at multiplayer, but at the same time, I do kind of agree with you. It's a very bad thing to have to admit.
Yeah, I would think your console's more powerful than that. The Wii's more powerful than that.
Oh dear.
But at least they can use Wiimotes.
Yeah. That's kind of the main thing. There's this controller plus the Wiimote, and I don't know if you can use this separately or not, but they've also announced that there's what they call the Gamepad Pro, which is if you want to play games with a normal controller, like 4 buttons and everything. The only thing is that it doesn't have a screen, so that, yes, it plays like a normal controller, but you can't interact with the games as much, and depending on the games, that may be a downside, but... At the very least, it shows that they're kind of thinking more about the, I guess you could call them veteran gamers this time round. I hate to use the word hardcore for reasons I've already discussed in another Monkey broadcast.
Yeah. You know, from here on out, just to spite these people, I'm just going to immediately associate the word hardcore to porn.
Nice move. Anyway, they've also announced that you can transfer over all the purchases you've made on Virtual Console on your old Wii to the Wii U. So thankfully you don't have to buy all those games again.
Oh, thank God. They're not pulling what... Actually, they're not pulling what they themselves did with the GameCube.
Yeah, that is true. Although, to be fair, GameCubes are really cheap now.
No, well, I mean, no backwards compatibility whatsoever.
Oh yeah, that's true.
We had to wait until the Wii came out to ever touch an N64 game again.
Speaking of the actual games, one of the main things that Wii U has shown is a very strong third-party support. Basically, now that A, their controller acts like any normal controller, and B, their graphics compatibility is on par with all the other systems now, you can get all of the other standard ports. So these are a selection of some of the titles that have been announced, if not for the launch day, sometime close to it, like Christmas in Europe at the time. There is Ninja Gaiden 3, the latest Sonic and All-Stars Racing, Rayman Legends, Darksiders 2, Assassin's Creed 3 has also been announced for it, and, also pleasant surprise to me, Mass Effect 3.
Holy crap, really?
Yep, Mass Effect 3 will be available on the Wii U.
You know what they really ought to do if they're going to release Mass Effect 3 for the Wii U? They really ought to back-release the entire Mass Effect series.
That's the one thing that's confusing me about this, because part of the whole point of Mass Effect 3 is being able to continue your save files of Shepard from Mass Effect 1 and Mass Effect 2. Although if I do buy this for the Wii U, that does mean I'm going to have to get Mass Effect 2 at some point. But anyway...
Or at least spoil yourself heavily.
Yeah, that's true. But anyway... My concern is, How is it possible to transfer those save files over? I mean, am I going to have to use a USB stick or something?
Or is it even gonna be possible? Because PS3 users ran into the same issue whenever they tried to release Mass Effect 2 for the PS3 without ever releasing Mass Effect 1. So it basically ended up that that package of feature the PS3 versions so that you could be taken through the story and make your decisions in comic book form.
Right. Oh yeah, I think I saw something like that in someone's review of Mass Effect 2, or at least the beginning of it.
Yeah, that was basically their only way out of that, and I really hope they won't have to do that with Mass Effect 3, because blitzing through the decisions that far into the story will kind of take the climactic feel out.
But yeah, even with those gripes, I'm still kind of glad that it's released, mostly so that I don't have to try and see if Mass Effect will even run on my PC, but...
Yeah, it'd just be nice if they released at least 2 so you know what you're doing, and you won't have to try to run 2 on your PC. Because after what your PC did to Mass Effect 1...
Oh, don't remind me, I've still got to go through that game again for footage. Anyway... There is also one last third-party title, which is technically being published by Nintendo, but mainly by a different company. As you'll know which one when I mention the game title, but it's actually kind of surprised me, because let me take you back all the way to the conference. When they were talking about the Wii U, one of the few games they could announce for it was that they'd made an agreement with LEGO Studios to make a LEGO City game. I rolled my eyes at that thinking, oh wow, really? You're that desperate that you're going to announce a game titled a toy line that's very rarely good at all? I mean, don't get me wrong, I played a lot of the LEGO games growing up, and they've never really been bad games, but I can't actually say they've been legendary. But that said, they released a new trailer for a game that has actually got me pretty pumped, and it's one of the games I'm going to be buying on launch day if it's one of the launch titles. It's called LEGO City Undercover, and the best way to describe it is, many people have chosen to say that it's either LEGO Grand Theft Auto or LEGO True Crime.
Or LEGO Gangsters. For the really old school computer game players.
I get where people are coming from the GTA style, because it is kind of the same thing. You're driving around a really cool looking city in a variety of vehicles such as cars and helicopters, admittedly one's made out of Lego, but still you're driving around the rolling cityscape which looks really great, and the only thing is you're kind of played as an undercover cop, which makes sense. It's Lego and they don't want to encourage the kids to take part in crime.
Yeah, kind of like Skies of Arcadia and their way of encouraging younger people not to drink.
Oh yes, it's just fruit juice, really. He's only drowning his sorrows into stuff.
I'll tell you when I've had enough.
And I'm gonna pause to drink apple juice at a not ironic moment.
Don't get tipsy on it.
I can't make any promises. Anyway, the reason I kind of like it is because, again, from what I've seen of it, the city looks like a wide open environment that looks like a heck of a lot of fun to explore, and okay, one of the plus points I've always had with LEGO games, especially when growing up, is the way they always inject a lot of humour and personality into their games, even if it's just the opening introduction, and that's part of the reason why LEGO Star Wars has become so popular, is because of the cheesy goofiness of it. This one, unlike the LEGO insert movie franchise here games, these ones don't rely on mime so much as voice acting, and from what I see in the trailer, yeah, there were one or two cheesy jokes, but there's also one or two good jokes in there, some of which actually crop up in gameplay, and in Sven's case, I am just going to send you the trailer.
This actually looks kind of cool.
Yeah,
Not shot in a LEGO game.
I know, that was amazing, right?
I like how his expression suddenly turns into one like someone just rang his bell. Well, actually, when you think of it, someone did just ring his bell.
Oh, gee. Yeah, this is what I...